Sensex had breached 61,000 and hit an all-time high on October 18, but since then there has been a steep correction and currently is just above 59,000. Even though Sensex has gained 0.31% this month, we have seen volatility in the market, especially in the small and mid-cap segment. The market did not just move up like the previous months, and small and mid-cap index, after hitting an all-time high in mid-October, went down close to 7% and 6% respectively. With the market seeing corrections, how did my portfolio perform in the month of October? We're going to look at my portfolio performance in October, but today's main topic is on a specific investment strategy that I use in my portfolio, and that is coffee can investing. Welcome everyone, thank you for joining my show. So Sensex had crossed 60,000 since my last episode, but ended the month just after 60k. And keeping up with the market volatility, my portfolio has lost 2,983 rupees, but it's currently worth 8,39,000 as of today. In my last episode, we have discussed how the current economic situation is, and we have seen why investors like Samit Vartak are advising retail investors to maintain caution while investing in the current market level. Even though the post-COVID economic situation looks very favorable. We have seen some of those corrections this month, but following his advice, I took the recent correction as an opportunity to top up one of my positions, which I will disclose later in this video. Moving on to my portfolio structure, as of today, my overall portfolio is divided into two smaller portfolios, which I have named Amateur and Consistent Compounder, and both the portfolios are almost of equal worth. But to improve the foundation of my portfolio and prepare it to face market corrections and volatility, I am increasing the allocation in my Consistent Compounder portfolio, which is based on coffee can investment strategy. Currently, the Consistent Compounder portfolio is about 53% of my overall stocks portfolio. But as I said before, I am increasing the allocation percentage of this portfolio by systematically investing in coffee can stocks on a monthly basis. Now, the question is, what is coffee can investing, right? Even though many of you might already know about coffee can investing, in today's episode, I will briefly explain about it and will also share how I am implementing the strategy in my portfolio. Coffee can investing got famous in India because of the national bestseller book of the same name, Coffee Can Investing, written by ace investors Saurabh Mukherjee, Rakshit Ranjan and Pranab Unyal. This concept of investing was initially used by Saurabh Mukherjee, Rakshit Ranjan and their colleagues at Ambit Capital's coffee can portfolio, but recently the same concept is also being used in their newly founded portfolio management service, Marcellus's Consistent Compounder portfolio, to generate great return for their clients. It's also important to note that Saurabh Mukherjee and Rakshit Ranjan are among the founders of the PMS, and Saurabh Mukherjee is currently the Chief Investment Officer of Marcellus. In 1984, Capital Guardian Trust Company's main investment manager, Robert Kirby, wrote a note where he explained how a sensibly constructed portfolio, if it is left untouched for a long period, can create enormous amount of wealth. He got the inspiration from one of his clients who was maintaining another portfolio for his wife, following the advice that he was getting from Robert Kirby's investment firm. But the client was only buying the stocks as per their advice, and he was ignoring all of their sell advice, even if the stocks were moving negatively. And the result was very surprising for Mr. Kirby. He noticed that the return generated by the portfolio by his investment company was no match compared to his client's personal portfolio. That's when Mr. Robert Kirby came up with a strategy and published his insight in a paper named The Coffee Can Portfolio. Before banks were created, Americans used to save their valuables in a coffee can and keep it under the mattress. Sometimes they used to forget it, only to discover the wealth later. Using this analogy, Robert Kirby named this buy and forget style of investing as coffee can investing. The same investing philosophy is applicable in the context of Indian stock market at the current time. And by this approach, 10 to 25 high quality stocks are selected and it's left untouched for a decade with equal allocation to each stocks. As per the data analysis going back to 1991, this strategy has outperformed the benchmark across all time period and also delivers healthy absolute returns. And most importantly, it performs extremely well when the broader market is experiencing stress. There are some criteria using which we can filter the coffee can stocks, and those filters are minimum market capitalization of 100 crore, sales growth increased by 10% each year for the past 10 years, and generate ROC of 15% each year for the past 10 years. Now let's see how we can find the coffee can stocks online. First, go to the website screener.in. You have to open a free account in Screener using your email and log in with your email and password. Once you have logged in, click on the Screens tab and then click on the Create a New Screen button. In the search query box, you have to write all the criteria that we discussed earlier. So market capitalization is more than 100 crore, but here I'll use 1000 crore because the data for smaller companies might not be trustworthy. Then sells more than 10% each year over the last 10 years. Now this filter is a little tricky, that's why I have to add conditions just like this. Similarly, the ROC should be greater than 15% over the last 10 years. So it pulls up total 83 stocks, so which are all coffee can stocks. And now you can add more filters on top of it to narrow it down to 10 to 15 stocks for your portfolio. In my next video, I will discuss how I have narrowed down to 12 stocks for my portfolio as of now and what are the allocations for each of those stocks. If you do not already know, this show is centered around my Indian stock portfolio, and like today, I'll be gradually revealing my complete portfolio and provide an update on a regular basis. You will be able to follow my portfolio performance during all market situations, be it in a bull market or a bear market, and along with that, I share economic updates on India and global markets and various super investors' thought on various topics of investing. I feel that this type of content can be educational and inspiring for many of the viewers. If you like this kind of content and want to follow how I build my portfolio and track its performance benchmarked against BSE 100 index, please be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel.